The NBA playoffs are set. We've got some incredible Western Conference matchups. The West is incredible. The East, really, it's going to be LeBron and then we're just kind of waiting to see what Toronto and Philadelphia do. So let's play the music and let's go. Let me start out west. The Rockets are a 1 seed, take on the T-Wolves. I think Houston wins this in 5. The last 5 teams to win 65-plus games in a year, that's Houston, have a combined 20-1 record in the first round, including 4 sweeps. It's really an indictment of either coaching or Andrew Wiggins that Minnesota is not more viable. Karl Anthony Towns, in my opinion, is as good as any young center in the game, and I've loved Jimmy Butler, though he was hurt for a while, for years. This is Andrew Wiggins' first chance to take over games. 44-inch vertical, number 1 pick. He doesn't have any alpha in him. He looks like he'd rather be a number 2. I just think Houston's backcourt will be a major problem. If Minnesota wins multiple games, it's because Jimmy Butler takes them over. I'll take the Rockets to win in 5. Next up, Warriors a 2 seed and the Spurs a 7 seed. I'll take Golden State in an uncomfortable 6 games. Listen, the Warriors have won 8 of the last 9 against the Spurs, including the playoffs, and the only loss was when Curry, Durant, and Clay were all inactive. This may be Popovich's best coaching job. Kawhi Leonard's missing in action. Tony Parker's old and did not have a great season. Manu Ginobili is 40, and LaMarcus Aldridge is a good jump shooter, a good mid-range jump shooter. This team really should not be a 7 seed and Minnesota an 8. I think this is as good as Popovich has done as a coach, and I've often been critical of him. But I'll take the Warriors. They're not as good without Steph, and the games will be closer, but I think Durant will rise and carry them late in several games here. Number 3, Trailblazers against number 6, Pelicans. I think it could be a sweep. I'll take Blazers in 5. First of all, I think Portland has a huge coaching advantage. Terry Stotts is fantastic. Damian Lillard is an MVP candidate. And by the way, Damian's always good. He is a beast at home, averaging 28 a game, postseason average. Damian will be the difference in this series. They're well coached. They're hard to stop. Now, the liability of Portland is neither C.J. McCollum or Damian Lillard care a great deal about the defensive end of the floor. But I like the coaching. I like the dynamic star Damian Lillard. Portland now is playing with the same group of guys for the second year, and they play well together. I take the Blazers comfortably with a few routes in this series. And finally, number 4, Oklahoma City takes on number 5, Utah. I don't remember a first-round playoff series in any conference that is more intriguing. Oklahoma City's got better players. Russell Westbrook is easily the most talented guy in this series, and I'd argue Paul George, who is heating up, by the way, 28 a game in his last 5 for the Thunder, are better than anybody that Utah has. In fact, Utah's a 45-win team led by a rookie, an undrafted Joe Ingles, and okay Derek Favors. They got rid of Hayward and George Hill. I can't believe they're a 5 seed. But I think, in fact, I know Quinn Snyder is the Western Conference version of Brad Stevens. They play real defense. They can sputter offensively at times. I'm going to take Oklahoma City with far better players to win. I think this one goes 7. And at some point, Westbrook will just take over games with Paul George. But Utah's good at home. They play real defense, offensively cutting, hard to defend. I'll take the Thunder in a long series. Let's go out east, where the Raptors, the baby dinosaurs, take on the number 8-seeded Washington Wizards. I'll take the Raptors in a sweep. First of all, they're a better defensive team, and they have a big edge in depth and health. Is John Wall even healthy right now? TBD, to be determined. The Wizards have lost 14 of their last 21 games. That's the exact record as the tanking Bulls over that span, and it's worse than tanking Sacramento. Washington, once again, comes to the end of the year, and do you really trust John Wall in the playoffs? I don't, never have. Last year, his last playoff performance, 0 for 11 in the fourth quarter against the Celtics. Raptors win, and they win it quickly. Number 2, Celtics take on the number 7 Bucks. Listen, Boston plays their arse off, a little like Utah on the defensive end, and they're good at home. But there are times now, without Kyrie Irving, offensively, you can only squeeze so much out of this orange. By the way, Giannis, I know everybody loves Giannis, but he has a losing record in the playoffs, and the Bucks haven't been able to hold court, even with Giannis. So I think there's a big coaching edge here for the Celtics. I think they're a better defensive team. If you lined up all the players without Kyrie and Gordon Hayward, I'd probably take Milwaukee's talent, though it would be close. But I think the Celtics here lose a road game or two, but win it in 6. Number 3 Sixers take on the number 6 Heat. I like Philadelphia winning in 5, but I think there are some close games in the series. Listen, Dion Waiters is out for the year for Miami. If he was playing, I probably go Miami in a long series. But the 76ers have the 3rd best defense in the league. And let me just say this. Miami's not a great defensive team, but what's remarkable, most young NBA teams aren't great defensive teams. But there are times when you get Ben Simmons on the floor and Dario Saric and Embiid and Covington on the floor, I think they're the longest team in the NBA, and that really matters on the defensive end. Ben Simmons, best player in this series, will control the tempo. I think the games are close, but I like the Sixers to win this series in 5. And finally, Cavs against the Pacers. I'll give Indiana a game, but let's be honest here. They're 16th in scoring. Their go-to guy often is Victor Oladipo, who on a great team would be your 4th best player. LeBron's 12-0 in the first round of the playoffs in his career, and over the last 5 years, LeBron's teams are 20-0 in the first round with 5 sweeps. Listen, I don't think it was the smartest thing in the world for LeBron to play all 82 games. I watched the game a couple of weeks ago, or was it a week ago, against the Knicks in New York, and he was on the floor with a minute left, and they were leading by 9. I don't get it. I've never had a problem with NBA stars taking 5 or 6 or 7 games off, especially right before the playoff. Houston shut down 2 weeks ago. I totally get it. Golden State's mailing it in. I sort of understand it. LeBron played 82 games. Are you going to tell me he's going to make an 8th final with all that wear and tear? My guess is probably. Because Kevin Love, when he feels he's the 2nd best player on the team, the number 2 guy, plays really well. With Kyrie around, he felt like a 3rd wheel, and I don't think it worked for him physically or emotionally. I'll take the Cavs to win in 5.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.